It is now November 30th, the last day until we enter December, the last month of 2023, and we call it quits for this year and move on to 2024 and see what's around the corner for Nintendo. And of course, one thing that we've been talking about nonstop is Mario and the next big 3D Mario, and it potentially releasing with a brand new console around summer or even holiday next year. And with that said, of course, I'm going to be talking about anything that comes up for Mario until Nintendo officially announces something. And we might have a potential leak, and I'm telling you right now, it is the craziest leak I think I've ever heard for a Mario game. But at the same time, I want to talk about it because it's so crazy, it might just be true. And I want to thank Andres Restart on YouTube for actually, posting this information. This is where I got it from, so go check out his channel for sure. But this comes from a leaker, supposed, on Twitter named Nash Weedle. And apparently they've been right about a couple things in the past. They were like completely teasing Metroid Dread and all the information with Metroid Dread about a year before it actually was announced and released. And then obviously Metroid Dread happened. So yeah, and then I guess they also leaked some other smaller things, and also like I guess the new Bandai Namco Nintendo specific studio they've been teasing and stuff for a very long time. But anyways, they come in with probably the craziest leak I've ever heard from Mario in my life. So of course, take everything with not even a grain. I'm talking like the grainiest grain of salt you could ever take from a video, because it was so wild I had to talk about it because it's just like, this would be crazy. But okay, enough. Let's talk about what it says. Apparently, he says, Leak Express. Would you like the next 3D Mario, our mustachioed hero, to visit worlds from other Nintendo sagas? Well, it seemed that Nintendo has already experimented with this, and it could become a reality at some point. Can you imagine Mario traveling through Hyrule or piloting the R-Wing? And it has an attached picture of Super Mario Omniverse and a whole bunch of different games around him, like Animal Crossing, Metroid, Star Fox, Splatoon, Luigi's Mansion, Xenoblade, and even like Breath of the Wild's field. It's just, what is happening here? What does this mean? Well, let's talk about it. Apparently, this leak is saying that there could be a chance that the next Mario game is focused on Mario traveling from world to world that's based on other Nintendo IPs. This is very, very, very crazy to even think about. A lot of us was just kind of, I think we were all expecting Mario just to go into open world and run around more open areas within the Mushroom Kingdom and stuff and just open the game up. This is saying that we could potentially be going to other Nintendo properties. Has Nintendo ever done this with the mainline game for any game? No. This would be definitely the first. And normally Nintendo saves crossovers for stuff like Smash Brothers. Even Mario Kart 8 has had a couple little crossovers. But they've never really had a main, like Mario running around a different area in a different game. Same with Link. There's been like cameos, like Link's Awakenings had like Mario enemies and stuff, and like Kirby, but it never was Link running through Dream World, you know what I mean? So this is going to be, if this is somehow true, which there's no way, but if this is somehow true, this would be one of the craziest games Nintendo has ever produced. Well, let's just think about it, okay? Let's just play with the idea, and let's just say for this conversation that this is going to happen. So somehow Nintendo's like, let's do this crazy thing. Would this be that crazy for Nintendo standards? Nintendo is out there. They do some crazy things, and it feels like with Mario games, they don't ever keep them safe, at least the 3D ones. They always try to evolve Mario in some capacity, whether it's, open sandbox or more linear games. They started off with Mario running through different areas tied to the Mushroom Kingdom by jumping in paintings with Mario 64. Then Mario Sunshine, they said, let's make it a little bigger. Let's let him go to different parts of a giant island out on the beach with Super Mario Sunshine, which was pretty cool. And then they say, you know what? Let's take it even higher. Now he can go into space and play around on different planets and different gravity mechanics. Oh, so now Mario is going around the globe, and you can actually play as all of these enemies that we grew up with. You can turn into a Goomba, you can turn into a Hammer Bro, you can even turn into Bowser at the end of the game. Like, that is just something wacky that only a wacky mind could think of. Then you start thinking about the future. Like, what else can Nintendo do to make it feel like, oh my goodness, how could they have ever gotten this to work? Well, bringing Mario into other IPs, I guess. Personally, I don't think it's needed whatsoever. I think they could definitely make just an open world Mario game, having him explore different regions of the Mushroom Kingdom freely. But Am I opposed to this? No, of course not, because it sounds too good to be true. So let's just play with the idea. What if Mario actually does go to different worlds based on different Nintendo franchises? It would kind of be like a Nintendo Land Part 2, but a mainline Mario game, where Mario maybe doesn't go to like nothing but other places, like lots of places maybe he revisits from his past, maybe like different locations like Bob-omb's Battlefield or Al Delfino or something like from Mario Galaxy he goes back to, or even like Peach's Castle for Mario 64, he could go through like the paintings. So maybe that's what happens, and then there are some throw-ins with other areas from other games as well. But man, that would be crazy to even think about. I feel like this would be so perfect advertising wise though, like for people that just play Mario games for the most part, or maybe like some specific IPs that remind them of Mario, like Kirby and Yoshi. To see these other IPs and worlds tied into a Mario game, I think would open people's eyes. I mean, it did for me with Nintendo Land a long time ago. I was playing all these games and realizing like there's a lot out there that I've just never tried from Nintendo. And I think having Mario go throughout these different worlds and where these different IPs exist would be pretty incredible. And I think a lot of people would be like, man, I love Mario, and this game kind of inspired me to go and try Pikmin, or go and try Zelda, or Fire Emblem, or Metroid, or Star Fox, whatever it might be. And I think that's a really good thing. But how would this work? Well, maybe there's some type of dimensional rift or something that can teleport Mario to all of these different worlds for some reason. He don't know why it's happening. And maybe you'll go to these different worlds and you'll meet with these different characters from these different Nintendo IPs, and you won't be able to play as them, but you'll be able to talk with them and communicate with them, or maybe even save them from some type of dimensional being that's doing all this. But it'd be really cool if you go to these worlds and there's mechanics that are based on these games, where the gameplay almost changes. Like Conker's Bad Fur Day. How am I bringing this game up? But yeah, Conker's Bad Fur Day would take you from world to world and change what you did. It'd be like a detective game, beat 'em up. It'd be kind of a racer sometimes, or you could be a third-person shooter and first-person shooter at times, if you've ever played that game. Maybe something like that happens where if you go to these different worlds, it completely changes the mechanics of the game. And kind of Super Princess Peach's, or what is it, Princess Peach Showtime? That's what it is. Princess Peach Showtime is kind of doing that right now with like Peach going to these different worlds and having different mechanics how she plays. So what if this happens where Mario enters a new area and he's able to actually act or have some type of weapon or item based on that character or that main protagonist from that series? Okay, so let me give you some specific examples. He jumps into the world of Donkey Kong, where maybe he can get like a monkey suit that allows him to climb really fast and climb up trees, climb up the side of mountains, maybe climb and swing from vines. That would be really cool, just allowing him to have new movement options in a jungle-themed area. Imagine if you jump into the world of Splatoon and you're going through like some mini missions where they give Mario a gun. He can like spread ink, like red ink for his color or something all over the floor. Would be cool. Or you're put into a Luigi's Mansion themed area, one giant mansion, and you still have the same Mario moveset. He can flip, jump, run, dive, roll, whatever, but this time he just has the poltergust on him, where he's the one that can, just use an extra ability to be able to suck up ghosts. Maybe they drop us in Dreamland, where Mario runs around and sucks up enemies like Kirby. He just has like this giant mouth. It would look so weird, but it would be so funny. Yeah, you pretty much just suck up these different enemies and get their power-ups and stuff as you go throughout the Dreamland area. There's like a Star Fox area, like Corneria, where you can jump in and out of the R-Wing whenever you want, kind of like Star Fox Assault, where you can just jump out and maybe he has like a little laser gun that he can run around and use. And also he can just jump into the R-Wing and fly around the area in like a free roam section, and even like turn into the little walker from Star Fox Zero would be really cool. Or maybe sending Mario to Zebes or Talon or one of the planets from Metroid, where you actually get a suit for Mario, or at least just an arm cannon that Mario can use, and he has similar attacks as Samus. Once again, still being Mario at its core, still being able to flip, run, and do the same things, but just with this added brand new move in this section. Whether it be a 2D Metroid game or 3D like Metroid Prime, I think it'd be really cool to see Mario in a power suit, or just have an arm cannon for himself. Shoot, we've seen Mario and Mario Rabbids, why not any other tactical RPGs? Kind of like Fire Emblem, where he just, every enemy he encounters within that world that he's in. For Fire Emblem, I don't know where they would choose. I haven't really played any of the games, but every time you encounter an enemy, it would kind of shift to an RPG, where you'd have to, select what attacks you want Mario to do and stuff. Would be a different approach and a really cool one. one. The same thing would go for Xenoblade, having Mario fight enemies, but in more of an RPG standard, kind of running around the enemy and choosing commands to attack with, and having like magic powers or something. I don't know. Mario could run around Hyrule, or at least a small portion of Hyrule, maybe around Hyrule Castle or something, and he has the Master Sword on him for some reason. In this world, he's able to use the Master Sword, or at least some type of sword, and swing it around and use it as one of his main attacks this time around. If he jumps into the world of F-Zero and there's like a futuristic city, and you can jump in and out of the Blue Falcon and race around certain tracks or something within this little open world and kind of just explore around the city, kind of like New Donk City, but more futuristic this time around. And what if he's able to join into the world of Pikmin? I won't have obviously all the mechanics of Pikmin, but just being able to immediately have a squad of Pikmin as soon as you jump into the world. You don't have to pluck or regrow them or anything like that, but you can throw them, and you can throw them at enemies. That's your main attack for this world. Now trust me, I know this all sounds completely insane. I can't believe it myself that this is even a rumor, and this is probably most likely not true. But at the same time, I love to kind of like sit back and look at what could happen. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't like this because it would take a lot away from what Mario is and kind of be focusing on other IPs with Mario, so they might not like that concept. But honestly, I think it would be a really cool, at least spin-off Mario game if they did something like that to get people to play more of these franchises. I mean, it's sad that only Smash Brothers and a little bit of Mario Kart is all we had to bring characters from Nintendo's universe together. So why not a mainline Mario game where it puts Mario in all these different kingdoms and worlds from these games, and he has items that's specific from those worlds? I think that would be really cool. I think it would be the craziest thing that we have ever gotten from the Nintendo in our lives, and it would be so off the wall, it just might happen because Nintendo is just crazy like that. But let me know in the comments down below if you would even enjoy something like this. Let me know what else you would like to see from it and what other ideas, because I might even make a full video on this concept alone, just kind of really going into detail for each world and each item that Mario could have. But let me know down below your ideas. What would you like to see in a game like this? And make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out if you enjoyed the Mario updates and information. Thank you so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.